Teams are on the way out. He ain't going to change the team line at any time soon, is he? West Ham have won once at Anfield since 1963, a couple of months before Jurgen Klopp arrived at this football club. It was the 2015-16 season. Slaven Bilic's brilliant side. They finished just 4 points outside the playoff places, and West Ham need another performance like that tonight. They just don't win here. Moyes doesn't win here. But they now have, West Ham, trophy-winning know-how. So is this hammer time in the Carabao Cup quarter-final live on Talksport tonight? Let's get to your commentary team with the former Liverpool striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk alongside your commentator Jim Proudfoot.
Well, thank you, Adrian. And there is no doubt that 2023 has been a vintage year for West Ham, encompassed in one word: Prague. First major honour since 1980. European silverware delivered, memories made. But every fan's insatiable appetite soon turns the present into history. The Hammers end the year set fair in Europe again, but it is the pursuit of domestic silverware that occupies their minds tonight. Twice they've come close in the last 43 years, and on both occasions they were denied by Liverpool. A moment of Kenny Dalglish's brilliance proved pivotal in a League Cup final. Steven Gerrard's FA Cup final equaliser still seared indelibly onto the memories of supporters of both of these clubs. And now it's Liverpool who stand in their way again, as West Ham eye a first League Cup semi for a decade. And whoever wins tonight will be the highest ranked team in the final four. Success for the Reds here will make them the overwhelming favourites. They're already top of the bookies list, even with 3 games to go, as they are in Europe. And with the Premier League title race bubbling nicely as well, the foundation's been laid here at Anfield for 2024 to be remembered as fondly as 2023 is in the East End. Let's remind you of the two teams. Liverpool, Kelleher in goal, Gomez, Quansah, Van Dijk and Tsimikas, Szoboszlai, Endo and Jones, Elliott, Nunez and Gakpo. Courtney, what are your thoughts on that Liverpool team?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm happy to watch Quansah, actually. I like the look of him. It's the first time I've seen him in the flesh. And I always like to reserve judgment a little bit until I've seen players in the flesh. So he's one of the players that I'll certainly be looking at today, and he's looking to certainly fill the boots of Matip. He's come out and said that as well. I like that a lot, quite brave. So be interested to see how he deals with it tonight.
West Ham have Areola back in goal, Safal, Mavropanos, Ogbonna and Johnson, Soucek, Alvarez and Fornals. And Kudus, Bowen and Said Benrahma recalled to the side are the front three. The likes of Paquetá and Ward-Prowse on the bench for West Ham tonight.
Yeah, and I think we'll probably see them at some point, but for me it's about Bowen and Kudus, isn't it? I was actually here when Bowen scored for West Ham earlier in the season in the Premier League, so he's got fond memories at the moment about scoring goals here, and I think that's always important for a forward.
Well, Liverpool have won this competition 9 times, but they've never played a League Cup tie here at Anfield in front of a bigger crowd than this one tonight. It is a sellout, and the magnificent new Anfield Road end away to our left-hand side, pretty much packed to the rafters. Great travelling support from West Ham as well on a filthy night here on Merseyside. Tim Robinson, who officiated Liverpool's 3rd round win over Leicester, is the man in the middle, and there's no VAR. It's going to be West Ham will get us underway in their change kit of all white, and they'll kick from left to right, attacking the Kop in the first half. And the ball laid back for Mavropanos, a long one forward from him, straight out of play for a throw that will be taken by Tsimikas on the Liverpool left. Thrown back to Virgil van Dijk, who's playing the 500th senior game of his career tonight. A career that started back in his native Netherlands. He's a goal short of 50 in his career as well. Here's Kelleher, just controlling the ball and laying it out to his right-hand side. Quansah fires it forward, but it's easy for the West Ham captain, Angelo Ogbonna, to take control on the edge of his penalty area. Back he goes for Areola, and the press was immediate. He got it out towards Mavropanos. He just dallied on it a little, and it was quickly put out of play by Darwin Nunez. But that was the first illustration of Liverpool's real intense press. And obviously the trigger is when he goes back to Areola, because they were on him in a flash.
Yeah, actually that unit for Liverpool, it looks better at times, that forward unit out of possession, than it does in. You see, as soon as the first player goes, the next one goes. It triggers it. They work off the body language, doing it again there, and Curtis Jones coming across, and they work really hard, Liverpool, to narrow the space and make it difficult for West Ham to get out.
Those are the thoughts of the former Liverpool striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk here at Anfield tonight, with West Ham in possession. It's a throw that will be taken right in front of the West Ham dugout, the technical area, taken by Safal. Ball down at the feet of Kudus, who was magnificent at the weekend. One with his right, one with his left. Paquetá with a hat-trick of assists. He only had one assist all season prior to the 3 that he expertly laid on at the weekend. West Ham have a free kick here, still inside their own half after a foul on Edson Alvarez by Szoboszlai. Free kick taken quickly, finding Mavropanos. Mavropanos, who started all of the European ties for the Hammers this season. Ball from him to Safal, and then he's fouled. And it's been a little bit stop-start the opening couple of minutes. You would talk sport, still Liverpool nil, West Ham nil.
Yeah, you see what Liverpool are trying to do. They're so aggressive in the press, and there Simigas just slightly too aggressive. But I think you're seeing that Liverpool want to put West Ham under pressure early tonight.
That's a really poor clearance from Areola. The ball's laid back to him. He wasn't under too much pressure that time, and he just shanked it off the outside of his right boot, straight out of play. It didn't even reach a point before it went out of play for a throw that was halfway to halfway. Liverpool take the throw, work it all the way back inside their own half very quickly via Kwanzaa and Gomez to Kelleher, and the blonde-haired Irishman plays it out. Van Dijk gives it straight back to him. Now towards Jarrell Kwanzaa again. Kwanzaa, who had such a good loan spell last year at Bristol Rovers, making his 9th senior start for Liverpool tonight, and a player with an immense future ahead of him. Hammers head it forward. Safal can't find Kudus. He's out of play for a throw that will be taken by Curtis Jones. Jones has got it on the Liverpool left, and ball from Endo. Van Dijk swooping up on the edge of his own penalty area, goes back for Kelleher again. Kwanzaa out towards Endo, who will take it on a couple of touches, and then he's lost out to Alvarez, but referee well placed, said there was a foul. A quick hand of apology from Alvarez. Endo taking the free kick immediately, setting up Szoboszlai with a right-footed effort, which hit Nunez, and that did the defending for West Ham. Tsimikas then plays it in. Alvarez is back to head that one away. It drops on the edge of the penalty area, away from Kudus, and goes out of play for a West Ham United throw.
It's absolutely brilliant, isn't it, from Van Dijk? He sees everything early, so just runs straight onto it. Knows that West Ham are completely out of shape, and does well Szoboszlai to get the shot off in the end, but teammates in the way, and that's Nunez in a nutshell at the minute, isn't it? When you looks out, you looks out.
Here's Ben Johnson making his way forward down the West Ham United left. Johnson, who hasn't featured at all in the Premier League this season. He started the League Cup win at Lincoln, but that's one of only 3 appearances that he's made all season, including tonight. Very much out of favour. Third choice full-back on either side. Kudus has it now. And Bowen just dropping short towards the edge of the Deeves, the target of the return ball, which hit Jones. And bounces Liverpool's way in the midfield, and Elliott can bring it forward, and the youngster just trying to flick the ball down the inside left channel, couldn't quite find Nunez, and then Safar plays it back off the retreating Elliott for a throw which will be taken on the West Ham. Right, we're through the opening 5 minutes, and it's still 0-0 and chanceless so far.
Yeah, it was actually a good run though, that by Nunez. He keeps his width a little bit. He made sure he was keeping himself on side as well, but the ball through to him in the end. And it's just interesting to see with him out on the left tonight whether maybe that takes a little bit of pressure off him. He's not that central striker, the one that's expected to maybe chip in with the goal, so maybe that little bit of pressure off him tonight.
Ball flicked very intelligently round the corner by Said Benrahma. West Ham couldn't find an effective second ball to get Fornals inside the penalty area. Kelleher gets it away, and it goes out of play for a throw which will be taken on the Liverpool left. You with Talksport here on Merseyside. 5.5 gone. Also a very good afternoon to our listeners across the United States of America, joining us on Sirius XM FC. Here's Endo back towards the edge of his own penalty area. Jarrell Kwanzaa's got it again. Kwanzaa to Van Dijk. The West Ham fans in good numbers and good voice as well. The lower tier of the Anfield Road end away to our left, hoping for a victory here today. Haven't had too many of them, and Nunez is offside as the ball is played forward through the middle now. West Ham's last win here in 2015. 3-0 success with goals from Lanzini, Noble and Sacco that day. They saw Coutinho and Noble send off. That's their only victory in 55 games here at Anfield. In the last 55 games here at Anfield, a run that stretches back some 60 years. Kelleher playing it out from the back for Liverpool. 6.5 minutes gone. And still Liverpool 0. West Ham United 0. Just a little bit of shadow boxing going on, really, Courtney. Neither side able to put too much of a grip in the game. Liverpool happy to try and turn over possession deep inside their own half and hit West Ham on the counter-attack, though. Yeah, the best moment of the game, though, was that one that just happened. Nunez offside, although it was very close with the replay that we get up here on the gantry. But that movement where Cody Gakpo drops in almost into midfield and Nunez comes in off that left-hand side, centrally. They really struggle, West Ham, to pick him up at that moment. So I think that'll be an interesting movement that carries on through this game, because it seems to be working so far. Van Dijk sweeping up at the back. Kelleher has had a fair few touches more than Areola, and that one was a poor one. But he just squeezed it past Bowen. Had he been able to bring that under control there, Jarrod Bowen, he would have been clean through on goal 25 yards out. And Kelleher will still be breathing pretty heavily after that, I would imagine.
Yeah, there's barely any pace on the pass from Kelleher, and if Bowen did get a touch on it, as you mentioned, he would have been clean through, and that's poor from Tsimikas.
Yeah, couldn't control another good diagonal ball out from Kwanzaa. Just bounced off his left leg and goes out of play for a throw that will be taken by Safal. Well, Liverpool last won this competition a couple of seasons ago, beating Chelsea on penalties. West Ham have never won it. Runners-up on a couple of occasions. The final in 81 against Liverpool, which they lost in a replay at Villa Park. And also beaten in the final back in 1966. But a few of the West Ham players involved that day had happier memories of cup finals later that year. Liverpool have got it and bring it forward into West Ham territory. Tsimikas, blonde-haired Greek, left-hand side of the penalty area, fired it in for the run of Elliott. Made a good third-man run. It was half cleared. Jones has got it now. Plays it back for Endo. Soboslai will take it over. Right-footed ball clipped in. Ogbonna backpedaling, heads it away. And then Benrahma, almost guilty of losing possession in a decent area for Liverpool as Gomez put him under pressure. But West Ham survived that. Play it out towards Kudus. And now Safal on the edge of his own box will flight it forward right-footed towards halfway. But West Ham struggling to get out. And Endo will be able to bring it forward again. A clever ball that splits the lines, finding Elliott. Elliott beating Benrahma. And still going, left-footed shot from him. That's the best moment of the game. It had Areola scrambling. It went past the post. Out of play for a goal kick, 0-0.
Yeah, and what I like about that is the rest of his teammates read his movement. Ball into him earlier. They all converge on him. Give him space. You know, when Harvey Elliott's running with the ball, he's got so much quality. Gakpo moves out the way. Nunez moves out the way and just opens up the channels for him to keep driving. It's a good opportunity in the end.
Areola's clearance. Jones trying to control it. And Liverpool just lob it forward with Kwanzaa, and Nunez very nearly able to flick the ball into his stride past Mavropanos. Then goes out towards the touchline, wins it back from Safal. Tsimikas' ball inside the penalty area, goes right across the edge of the 6-yard box before Johnson clears it. And West Ham get it out of their own half, but inevitably it's going to come straight back. Liverpool on top as we reach the 10-minute mark, but still goalless.
Yeah, brilliant ball though by Tsimikas. Nobody read it, but it's exactly what you want from the wide area. Get it across that 6-yard box in a fantastic area, which he did.
And Gomez this time working it in. Nunez trying to get there. Mavropanos had followed him every step of the way. The loose ball goes out towards Harvey Elliott though, on the right-hand touchline for Liverpool. Kwanzaa now forward towards Endo, back towards Elliott, left-footed ball chipped in. Cody Gakpo had space but no control, and if he could have brought that down and pirouetted, he would have been in a shooting position, but it bounced off his trailing leg and Ogbonna cleared it. Back now from Jones. Soboslai. Benrahma sticking out a leg is able to steer it away. Soboslai did really well. Final ball inside the box, left a little bit to be desired, but it breaks out Joe Gomez's way. Now a ball down the outside right channel, down the side of the penalty area. Gakpo didn't read that, and it drifts out of play for a goal kick. There's been some good invention from Liverpool around the final third. The quality of the final ball hasn't quite been up to muster so far.
Yeah, just that decision making, and sort of opposites. When the balling's decent, no one's making the run, and when the runs are good, Curtis Jones made a fantastic run across the box there, but they didn't elect to find him. So the build-up play from Liverpool is really good. It's just the final touches.
And they're trying to force errors out of West Ham again here towards the edge of the penalty area. Ogbonna slicing it up in the air. There's no way that's a back pass. And Areola justified it coming out, catching it, and then bowling out for Vladimir Safal to bring it forward. And towards Kudus. Kudus on the right-hand touchline. Coming back inside, away from Curtis Jones. Gets it inside the centre circle for Edson Alvarez. Right-footed ball from the Mexican. Sails over the head of Benrahma. And straight out of play for a throw to Liverpool. Still 0-0 with 12 minutes gone between Liverpool and West Ham here at Anfield. Let's get an update from the darts. It's day 6 at Ali Pali. Here's Talksport Ian Danton.
Ryan Joyce has just made it through, Jim, to the second round. Relentless won 3-1 against the American qualifier Alex Spellman in a cracking match. Joyce ending up averaging just over 100. He'll take on Stephen Bunting in the next round. Richard Veenstra's on stage right now, the Dutchman, up against Rob from New Zealand. Peter Wright is up later tonight live on Talksport 2.
Tsimikas with the ball inside the penalty area, which is deflected away by Mavropanos. And out of play for the first Liverpool corner. The darts continuing live on Talksport 2 right now. Also Saturday night, Talksport brings you big heavyweight boxing from Saudi Arabia's Day of Reckoning. Joshua against Wallin and Wilder Parker. Talksport from 9, live and for free on Saturday. So here's the first corner of the night. It's a left-footed away swinger from Tsimikas towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Headed clear. Endo then pokes it back. Gomez is forced to retrace his steps really quickly because Benrahma trying to get there. And Liverpool's attacking corner has very quickly ended up at the feet of their own goalkeeper. His ball out's not the best. Kudus bringing it under control, just got caught there by Tsimikas. There was no malice. Kudus able to continue. Tsimikas then can't get it back from Kudus and ends up on the deck for a moment. And again, nothing wrong with that challenge. Liverpool extricate themselves from the tight confines of the midfield battle with Jones riding the challenges. Soboslai let it run. I don't know that he meant to. It falls for Elliott and he's fired it over the bar.
I think you're right, Jim. I think that's more of a miscue from Soboslai than anything, but finds its way to Harvey Elliott and doing what we expect him to, cutting in, trying to find that top right-hand corner. It's inches away, just trying to curl it in, too much on it. But again, it's good from Liverpool, that quick, pacey counter-attacking play. They're finding the gaps, just finding that little bit of quality now.
Well, he scored the winner at Palace recently, Harvey Elliott. It remains the only goal that he scored this season. A player who has only started one Premier League match, but has started every cup game that Liverpool have played at home and abroad. This is 9th out of 9 so far this season. Van Dijk finding Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa's 15 yards inside his own half, plays it forward. Soboslai controls it, and he's got a lot of space. Bearing in mind he's in the centre circle to survive a slightly poor first touch, then look up and survey his options. Drive forward 10-15 yards. Cody Gakpo plays it back for Endo. Endo down towards the edge of the penalty area. Nunez losing out. Kudus has done well and has got an appreciable defensive side to his game as well, which is obviously an essential under David Moyes, but he certainly doesn't let anybody down. Coming back, his work rate is excellent, but in getting the ball forward there, he couldn't find Jarrod Bowen, who is quite an isolated figure at times from the rest of the West Ham players. 15 minutes gone. The Hammers have hardly had a touch of the ball in the Liverpool final third. A lot of the action has been down in front of us. We're situated midway inside the half that Liverpool are attacking. Tsimikas bringing the ball under control. Lays it back outside the penalty area. Left-footed, it's clipped in by Elliott and easily headed away. Back down towards Van Dijk. Van Dijk forward for Elliott again. Elliott able to turn in the midfield. It bypasses Jones. Out towards Tsimikas. And Safar doesn't know whether to stick or twist, and in the end kind of does neither and allows an easy pass towards Elliott. Back it goes for Jones. Jones to Van Dijk and now to Kwanzaa. And nearly every Liverpool outfield player has touched the ball in this move. Joe Gomez the latest of them. And then he's given it away. And Endo couldn't get to the pass. Neither could Bowen. Van Dijk rescued it, slammed it out towards the far touchline, and that ended up being a really good ball. Left-footed ball clips inside the penalty area here for Nunez. off balance by the time the ball got to him. He's headed it wide.
Yeah, for me, I think he's trying to head that towards goal. I think he needs to head it back across. Gakpo's there. And again from Nunez, for me, that's just the decision-making that's poor. But I think for West Ham, they're dropping so deep. I understand that they want to go in that low block against Liverpool, but when the ball comes out in the second phase, they've got to be more aggressive to try and put Liverpool under some form of pressure.
Well, there are other games taking place tonight, and all three have just seen a goal in the Women's Champions League. Chelsea lead at Häcken of Sweden, a game that's being played in Gothenburg tonight. Sam Kerr's 9th of the season. Now, Chelsea unbeaten in their Champions League campaign so far, but only one win from the first three games, but they lead away to Häcken. They drew 0-0, those two sides, last week. In the Scottish Premiership, 2 games. Livingston, bottom of the table, but they've taken the lead. Guthrie's goal, only the 10th that they've scored in 17 league games this season. It's Olivia Gollop at Aberdeen, and Rangers lead St Johnstone. Dessa's 9th of the campaign. Rangers 6th win in a row if they can hold on to that tonight. And they'll move within 2 points of the top of the table and still have a game in hand on Celtic. We'll keep you up to date with all of those games over the course of the evening. Tsimikas has got the ball inside his own half. It's 0-0 here at Anfield on Talksport and Sirius XM FC in the United States. Nunez has made his run too early again. He knew it. He still chased after the ball, but the flag was up. It was an easy decision for the assistant referee, Nick Greenhow, to make. And it's a free kick to West Ham when we're approaching the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, and I think it's Sofal who does really well here. Steps up, make sure he's getting his line right. But that's another area of Nunez's game that he needs to improve. Finds himself offside quite a lot.
Kelleher going forward towards Endo. Kwanzaa chipping it forward for Elliott. Elliott out on the right-hand touchline. Cushion a header back through the midfield. The move very quickly breaks down. West Ham in the Premier League this season have won as many games away from home as they've lost, which is pretty creditable. They did lose here, beaten 3-1 back in September. Here's Benrahma making his way forward inside the penalty area, and still he goes. Ran into traffic, went down, he was on his knees. No real claims that there should be a penalty. Just had 3 Liverpool players shutting the door in front of him. He had nowhere to go.
No, and he did extremely well though. He glides past Endo. I think he's trying to get past Kwanzaa, which he does, but Gomez just in the right place at the right time. Certainly not a penalty, just gets his body across and makes it difficult for Benrahma.
19 gone 0-0. Chelsea, Fulham and Middlesbrough already through. Now we'll be finding out who will be going through with them in the draw that you'll be able to hear the news of on the Sports Bar later. Jarrod Bowen hasn't had too much involvement so far, trying to drive through the middle there. He's got such a good goal-scoring record away from home this season. Bowen, he's netted in 7 of his 8 away games in the Premier League, including the one here. Curtis Jones scooping it with the outside of the right boot. Easy for Johnson to cut out the ball intended for Elliott. Liverpool have just lost their way as an attacking force over the last 3-4 minutes or so.
Yeah, West Ham getting higher, putting more pressure on, and I think they've sensed as well. There's been a few stray passes, few stray touches from Liverpool, so they're sensing they're there to be got at.
Elliott trying his luck from distance, so it took a really spiteful bounce in front of Areola. Got down, dived to his left-hand side, then had to get the hands up quite quickly because it sat up on him, but was able to make a comfortable save in the end. Johnson now comes forward and plays it out towards Benrahma. All of a sudden a bit more attacking intent. As you say, Courtney, they're defending with a higher line. They're trying to condense the play in the midfield, and as a result they're getting more possession in better areas upfield than they've had so far. But this latest move comes to nothing, and Kwanzaa will be able to guard it back for his goalkeeper Kelleher. Safar on halfway. Forward from him. And now played forward by Thomas Souček. Bowen takes a touch and then out towards Kudus. Kudus coming in onto his left foot, and that was a misdirected something. I don't know whether it's a misdirected shot or a misdirected pass, but it's a miscue that just ends up being chipped into the Kenny Dalglish stand.
Yeah, it almost comes off his toe. I think the ball just ever so slightly gets away from him just before he's going to kick it, and certainly makes a hash of it. And I agree with you, I'm not quite sure what he was intending, but either way it wasn't to go out for a throw-in on the other side of the Dalglish stand.
Yeah, we don't know what it was, but it wasn't that. Rangers leading St Johnstone 1-0, but the Perth side down to 10 men. Craig Levine's men have had Dialang Jayasimi sent off. Soboslai It's Darwin Núñez inside the penalty area. Goes back to Szoboszlai again. Left-footed effort from him, and Areola diving to his left. Saw that one was going wide. It wasn't hit with a huge amount of power, and as a result of that, Gakpo, had he really gambled, might have been able to squeeze in and get there before it drifted out of play for a goal kick. Maybe not quite, but it has gone for a goal kick, which Areola will take. And we're midway through the first half at 0-0.
And it's just interesting. I think West Ham have really limited Liverpool to chances from outside the box, so they'll be quite happy with that. Yes, Liverpool have had more of the possession, but you expect that. I think West Ham, they've got their defensive shape and line sorted really well and looking more of a threat going forward now.
Gomez plays it down the right-hand touchline. Elliott did really well chasing a lost cause. He's kept it in. He set up Jones straight at the goalkeeper. But all the shots are coming from Liverpool away to our left-hand side, and that was excellent play from Elliott. Just a buzz of industry down that right-hand touchline, slid into a ball that seemingly had gone out of play. Just kept some of the ball on the line. He was back on his feet and able to create a half chance for Curtis Jones that ultimately came to nothing. They've got such a good record here at Anfield, Liverpool. Unbeaten in 20. Last home defeat back in February when they lost to Real Madrid. They've won 17 of the 20 games since then. And if you just look at matches against English opposition, they've lost 1 out of 58 here, which was a game against Leeds back in October last year. So it's 1 home defeat to English sides in 33 months here at Anfield. 0-0 in this one.
We always say that Anfield is a fortress. It's somewhere a little bit different, and the stats certainly back that up.
Now Elliott slightly deeper as he turns the ball into a wide position. That's allowed that Joe Gomez the opportunity to make his run forward down the right-hand side. There's a little nutmeg of Johnson there. Johnson was quick. You'd expect a man called Ben Johnson to be slightly sprightly off the mark, and he made sure that once the ball went through his legs, Gomez couldn't get round him, and it goes out of play for a goal kick.
Well, Gomez isn't happy, and I tend to agree with him. Although it did nutmeg Johnson, I do think it took a touch as it went through his legs, and that's why Gomez is extremely unhappy with the goal kick.
Yeah, should have been a corner. But a goal kick given, taken by Areola, down towards the touchline where Souček goes up for it with Van Dijk. Van Dijk had to put the brakes on to make sure that he didn't fall over the hoardings in front of the pitch-side camera. He's okay. Now Liverpool take the throw quickly and get it forward towards Cody Gakpo. He's gone down at Kudus, having robbed him, then able to play it forward. Endo's got it back though, the former Stuttgart man, the Japanese international. Driving to his right is Szoboszlai. Here's Elliott inside the penalty area, and that definitely is the corner. It clearly took a touch off Johnson with the cross-come shot that came in, and Szoboszlai will go across to take Liverpool's second corner of the night.
He's looked bright, hasn't he, Harvey Elliott? And so many fans have been asking for him to play more minutes, to start games, and we see why, because it's really had an influence early in this game.
Elliott, one of the players in this Liverpool side tonight who do have a winner's medal from the League Cup in 2022. In comes the corner, plenty of whip on it, but it just made it easier for Souček to head away. Comes back out for Gomez. Gomez has done well. He's clipped the ball back out towards Szoboszlai on the Liverpool right. Now Endo coming forward. Had to snatch at a shot as he was put under pressure by Alvarez, and he's fired it way over the bar.
Yeah, it just didn't quite come down quick enough. His first touch, it was bouncing up as he hit it. He was off balance and flying over the bar. But I'm just looking at this balance of this Liverpool front three. Núñez and Gakpo keep switching, which is fine, but at times they're leaving the middle of the pitch completely open. Nobody's there. So Harvey Elliott going down the right-hand side at times, and there's no one in the middle.
So it's almost 4-3-1-2 at times, with Gakpo playing in a deeper role when he's there. He's playing it very much as a false nine and just dropping back, and Elliott and Núñez as wide strikers, and Darwin Núñez has it now inside the penalty area but being forced away. It was a clever piece of play. Little reverse ball. Elliott with a cross that was deflected. It's headed away by Johnson, and it will get it towards halfway. Liverpool win it back again. Right-footed ball in from Gomez. The idea was right, couldn't find Gakpo. And then his second attempt to just try and flick the ball past Johnson. Saw him overhit it, and it goes out of play for a goal kick, which was taken by Areola. They had a 5-minute spell, West Ham, where they weren't on the ropes quite so much, but Liverpool trying to turn the screw again. Unable to beat Areola so far, 0-0.
Yeah, a couple of good moments there, though, from Nunez. The little ball to Tsimikas, who I think can play that first time, if I'm honest, and then a good little touch in that build-up there. So he's certainly growing into the game.
Curtis lays it back for Souček. Now it goes out towards Safal. Safal's on the right-hand touch line. Played away from Soboslai, Ben Rama. And now towards Souček, and his compatriot, close friend, Safal just didn't read it. Now he goes out of play for a Liverpool throw. Game day exclusive returns Saturday. West Ham facing Manchester United at the London Stadium. We've got live coverage from 11 ahead of a 12:30 kick-off. At 5:30 on Boxing Day, Liverpool go to Burnley. That's exclusive on Talksport. West Ham are at Arsenal 2 days later, Thursday the 28th. That's also here on Talksport at 8:15 kick-off. The festive fixtures here for you on the Talksport network. 27 minutes gone in this one. The fourth and final League Cup quarter-final. We'll have the semi-finals, both legs of both semis, and the final all live for you in the new year. Gakpo down towards the Liverpool left-hand side where Curtis Jones has it. Jones playing it away from Safal. Back for Gakpo. Gakpo clipping inside the box. Elliott with good movement again, but had nothing in the way of supporters trying to control it. West Ham will try and break, but Ben Rama's touch let him down. Liverpool come back once more. Right-footed effort. Brilliant. It's a stunning goal. Magnificently finished by Dominic Soboslai. He got it onto his right foot and arrowed it into the bottom left-hand corner. It's been coming. And Liverpool, the 9-time winners of the League Cup, are a goal up, and that step closer to the semi-finals.
It's a wonderful strike by Szoboszlai. Hits it hard and true into that bottom left-hand corner, but I think West Ham at this point give it away a couple of times, but in terms of their defensive shape, they're probably quite happy as to where Szoboszlai picks it up, but then absolutely nobody goes and engages him. He's 25 yards out. Johnson, for me, has got to get closer to him. He just watches him inch forward, and then it's a wonderful finish. Strikes it with the laces, hits that side netting. There's nothing that Areola can do about that.
Yeah, some finish from Dominic Szoboszlai, who scored against Leicester in the League Cup and has now scored against West Ham in the same competition. His fourth goal for the club. And a match in which Liverpool's possession has been in the 60s, where they've had 9 shots to 0 so far. It's certainly a deserved advantage. 1-0. Now here's Safal for West Ham. At what stage will they decide that they have to be a little bit more progressive? Still an hour left in this game, of course.
Yeah, and I think they need to be progressive, that's one thing, but there's been a couple of occasions now when they do get the ball, they've been slow, sloppy in possession. I'm just thinking about when Sofal was out on the right-hand side there, that little incident with Souček. They've got to be better on the ball.
Liverpool so adept at being able to protect leads as well. They've scored first in 12 games in all competitions this season, won 11 of them, and the other one was a draw. Referee's just got in the way there as had a player from each side converging on him. It was tapped into him by a West Ham man, so it's going to be a drop ball to restart play. The Hammers have come from behind 3 times to win. They've only got to get a draw here, of course, to take it to penalties. Penalties after 90 minutes. Saw 2 of the 3 ties last night go to penalty kicks. The one's won by Fulham and Chelsea. Now Curtis is flagged offside as he's retreated a little bit slowly from an offside position as the ball was chipped out of the penalty area by Areola. The West Ham have won at Burnley and Tottenham from losing positions this season. They're going to have to do it the hard way here. We played half an hour. Liverpool 1, West Ham United 0. And Liverpool with Quansah finding Van Dijk. Turn forward to the blue-booted Curtis Jones. Now to Gomez, down towards Elliott. It's good understanding between those two when you bear in mind that they've played so rarely as a unit down that right-hand touchline. Quansah goes back for Kelleher. Kelleher sweeping up outside his own penalty area. And he gets it again, inside the D. Played down towards Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk back for Endo. They'll just drop deep and split the 2 Liverpool centre-halves. Now to Quansah. Good movement from Joe Gomez. Quansah saw him, didn't fancy his chances of being able to spear the ball through the 2 lines of West Ham players to be able to pick the run out. Didn't have too long to think about it because Gomez would have been offside and the moment had gone. Now Van Dijk has another lovely crossfield ball, almost inch perfect out towards the right hand side of the area. Great header from Szoboszlai, flicked back in by Elliott, but behind Nunez. Souček with a defensive header that falls for Jones. Now to go down to the left hand side for Tsimikas, clipped in right footed by Gakpo. Elliott has it again. Little reverse ball in, Szoboszlai getting it in, and Mavropanos got in the way and didn't steer it into his own net. Crucially, it's out of play for a corner.
For me, that's one of the best passages of play for Liverpool. The ball out is exquisite. Szoboszlai does so well, but then what I like is the forwards. They're in between the sticks. They're making sure when this cutback comes in that they've got an opportunity to slot it in the back of the net from a few yards out.
Liverpool's third corner. And it's going to be a left-footed in-swinging delivery from Tsimikas. It's a good ball as well. Souček got there to head it away. A high up and under in from Szoboszlai. Out comes Areola, punches it clear. Got stuck in traffic for a moment. He's back on his feet and back in position. Liverpool can't get the ball in immediately. Jones goes back for Gomez. And now Gomez will play back towards halfway again, where Curtis Jones just for a moment was the deepest of Liverpool's outfield players. And now he goes back for his goalkeeper Kelleher. Elsewhere at Pittodrie, an equaliser for Aberdeen. Boyemiowski has got them back on level terms. It's 13th of the season. Aberdeen would drop into the bottom two tonight with a defeat, but they're back on level terms at home to basement boys Livingston. And Chelsea's women have conceded at Häcken in the Champions League. Larissy with the goal after Sam Kerr's opener, and it's Häcken 1, Chelsea 1. The Rangers still leading St Johnstone by a goal to nil, and St Johnstone down to 10 men in that. This one is Liverpool 1, West Ham United 0, and so far it's merited. Tsimikas on halfway in towards Szoboszlai. Edson Alvarez closing him down very quickly. Van Dijk then picked it up, and he goes back for Kevin Kelleher again. Liverpool at times just toying with West Ham, who just haven't been able to get going at all as an attacking entity, corner.
No, and you see in the second phase especially, they're quite happy to try and win that first long ball, but the second ball, Liverpool are absolutely first to everything, and it's because they're so deep at times that they're nowhere near to the second ball because they've dropped that deep in that 4-4-2 out of possession.
Szoboszlai with another good diagonal. Elliott has done well to keep it in. Now that meant that Johnson could come across and put it out of play for a throw, but it would have been a goal kick had it not been for Elliott's clever reading of the situation after the awkward bounce. It's a throw which will be taken over on the Liverpool right-hand side down by the corner flag. Joe Gomez drying the yellow ball on his red shirt, waiting for some movement. Endo providing that. Szoboszlai shows for him 20 yards down the touchline away from goal, now making his run towards the ball. He was used as the decoy. He was thrown in towards Gakpo. Back out towards Gomez over the head of Elliott and brought under control by Virgil van Dijk. We've got 10 minutes to go to half-time. Liverpool 1, West Ham 0. Dominic Szoboszlai, the goal scorer. Curtis Jones back inside his own half for Van Dijk. Now Endo out to the goal scorer once more. The Hungarian finding Gomez. West Ham just chasing shadows, really. There's no real intensity about the press from West Ham when the ball is with Liverpool inside their own final third. Van Dijk getting the applause there, but couldn't quite find Gomez. But it's too easy for Liverpool to be able to play out from the back, particularly when you consider the quality of the passing of Van Dijk.
Yeah, it is, and I think they didn't get out to Van Dijk there, but then in terms of where the back four was at that point, it was relatively high. Gomez had a lot of space to run into, so you've either got to press high and your back line be high.
Now a mistake by Tsimikas, and Bowen seizing upon it. Tsimikas has rescued it with the aid of Quansah, and he can clear.
Yeah, and as I was saying, you've either got to press high and take that chance with your back line being high and everyone presses a unit, or if you're going to go into the low block, then you've got to really sit back in and deny the space. But at the minute, West Ham are doing neither.
Safal, Kudus. Ball cleared into Kudus by Nunez. Now back for Edson Alvarez again. Alvarez with a long crossfield ball. He doesn't get the pace on them that Van Dijk does as he tries to fire it. The 45-degree ball out towards the far touchline. Just sits in the air and makes it slightly easier for the Liverpool back line to deal with. And now Liverpool will work it for them. Nunez has got an option to his right-hand side. Good sliding challenge comes in from Gomez. But Liverpool are having a steady raft of corners here. This is their fourth.
Yeah, I don't mind it, and I think that's the right decision by Nunez. He probably doesn't get the first touch he wants. He probably wants it in front of him so he can take the shot on. He doesn't. But I think then the ball to Szoboszlai, it's not great, but in terms of the decision he made, it's the right one.
Applause here for Mo Salah, out warming up, amongst others, for Liverpool. Salah's got a sensational record against West Ham, 10 in 13 against the Hammers. There are not too many of those in recent encounters. Van Dijk making a run from deep, trying to get on the end of this corner. Gakpo is actually the closest Liverpool player to it. It's half cleared, and then Endo makes a mess of it on the edge of the area and just went in late, caught his man. Free kick to West Ham in the D. But they got work to do here. 8 minutes from half time, and Liverpool thoroughly meriting the 1-0 lead.
I don't think West Ham were overly happy about that, though, because there was an advantage. I think they wanted to break on the counter.
And the referee just having a word with Edson Alvarez, is making the point as he gets back very gingerly to his feet, but perhaps play could have continued. Tim Robinson, the referee tonight. Anthony Taylor, the fourth official. There's no VAR for these League Cup quarter-finals. I think I'm right in saying it comes in for the semis. The ball is worked forward towards Jarrod Bowen. Bowen's got it inside the centre circle for West Ham. We've got to try and find a way to get Bowen and Kudus into the game more, because just haven't seen the flair players for West Ham involved at all because of a lack of service. Fornals and Ben Rama not able to get into the game, not able to feed those around him. Safar taking the throw here for Fornals, and then played forward towards Kudus. Kudus helped to the ground. The referee says no foul. Jones, more than 100 Liverpool games behind him now. Jones playing it out towards Darwin Nunez. Coming in off the left-hand side of the penalty area. Oh, great little no-look flick from Elliott to guard it back for Jones. Tsimikas on the overlap for him. Jones tried to bend one in towards the top right-hand corner. I thought it hit a West Ham player. Maybe a little double ricochet back off Jones, and goal kick has been given to Areola. 7 to go to half-time, 1-0 Liverpool.
It's a nice piece of play by Liverpool down this left-hand side, and I think that's the difference in terms of when Liverpool switch it on, the pace in which they move the ball, the quality, the technique and the tempo. That's something that West Ham haven't done. And speaking about West Ham earlier, and you're thinking even when they get a set piece, which is few and far between, it's not like they've even got Ward-Prowse on the pitch, so something has to change at half-time for me.
Well, it might be that it was always part of the plan in terms of personnel for David Moyes, that the likes of Paquetá and Ward-Prowse would get a fixed number of minutes, be it 45, maybe be it 30. But that's how their workload was going to be managed. That's why potentially West Ham haven't been too progressive so far. The ball inside the penalty area, chested down by Gakpo, and then the missed kick from Joe Gomez. It was, dare I say it, the finish of a man who scored as many professional goals as I have. Tsimikas. He's played 218 games more than me to get to none, though. Here's Van Dijk. Just missed his kick there, Joe. It was a great run forward, but couldn't get hold of it at all. Quansah, Szoboszlai, back out towards Gomez. Gomez has got 2 to try and hit, and he goes over Nunez's head. Again, sits up a little bit awkwardly for Curtis Jones. A lively bounce inside that penalty area, and then it hits Tsimikas and goes out of play for a West Ham United throw.
Enjoyed watching Quansah. Not had a lot to do out of possession, but in possession we've seen a range of passing. That little disguised one into Szoboszlai there, I think everyone was expecting it to go out to Gomez. We've seen a couple of nice crossfield balls well out. Tsimikas is quite happy to play it into Endo under pressure in the midfield.
Elliott helping it on. Nunez onside, not going to get to it, and just brushes the corner flag on its way out of play for a West Ham United throw. If you haven't got the Talksport app, incidentally, you need it. We've got live darts on Talksport 2 right now. Tomorrow night over on 2, the final T20 from Trinidad, England looking to win the 5-match series against West Indies. It's been a sensational fight back from Josh Butler's side. 2 down, poor start, but brilliant in games 3 and 4 to take it to a decider. That's live from 7:30 tomorrow night on Talksport 2. The darts action from Ali Pali is there as well. And don't forget the Premier League fixtures coming up. Palace Brighton tomorrow. And then Friday night, Villa could go top of the Premier League. Haven't been top this far into a season in the 21st century, but a victory will take them to the summit, and they could be Christmas number ones if they win that game and Liverpool against Arsenal is drawn on Saturday. Villa in action at home to Sheffield United, who've got the worst away record so far. Chris Wilder trying to turn things around. That's live from Villa Park. Friday night, Martin Keown alongside me for that on Friday on Talksport. 4 to go to half-time here in the company of Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. The ball out of play for a throw which will be taken over on the West Ham United left. Alinson Alvarez has it now for West Ham.
Yeah, for me, they just need to try and keep possession, West Ham, for a sustained period of time. Every time they get the ball, seem to give it away quickly and been under so much pressure. Then you just see there Kudus is trying to make something happen, but Bowen's looking at him as if to say, I want that into me. That ball over the top is never going to happen. Quite a height difference between Bowen and Kwanzaa, so it's just those little last bits of quality that West Ham are struggling with. There's an eagerness to get forward, which I understand, but then the transition is just so frequent for them.
It's been interesting in the Premier League this season. West Ham's first half performances have been really good. If games stopped at half time, they would actually be second in the Premier League table. It's all unravelled for them in the second half of matches. Not every time, of course, but that will be of a concern, albeit that they've got the big hitters on the bench tonight, or some of the big hitters on the bench. The fact that they have been lifeless and listless in this first 45 minutes so far. They just haven't done themselves justice at all. Here's Tsimikas for Liverpool, flicking the ball away from Kudus. In retaining possession, he was forced to go back inside his own half, but he can feed Van Dijk. Van Dijk turns and applauds Tsimikas, and it'll be played out towards Endo. Endo to his right for young Kwanzaa, back for Kelleher again, and now out towards Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk controlling it, stopping, turning, and laying it forward. It's actually Van Dijk's first League Cup tie since the victorious 2022 final. Thiago Silva, who also played in that game, played his first League Cup tie since as well, last night. Kwanzaa forward towards the Szoboszlai. That was a Liverpool-Chelsea final. It could be a repeat of that in the semi-finals. The draw will be made on the Sports Bar. You'll hear it with Jamie and Jason after us tonight at 10. Tsimikas back for Van Dijk. Van Dijk inside his own half. Well, not quite. Just venturing forward into West Ham United territory. Got about 90 seconds to go to half-time. There won't be too much time to be added on. Gakpo in his yellow boots, controlling it, plays the ball forward. Elliott, first time, just laying it back. Szoboszlai to Endo. Endo, the first touch that looped up off his right foot, then clipped in by Jones. Nunez, letting it run, trying to roll Ogbonna. Ball beat the pair of them and ends up in the hands of Areola. He'll get it forward as quickly as he can, but that was nothing really for Kudus to try and attack. And again, Liverpool have won it back, and West Ham just can't keep hold of the ball at all.
No, and again, you sort of understand there's a little bit of urgency to get forward. But for this moment for Areola, just before half-time, the last thing you want to do is concede a second goal. Just keep the ball and work it forward.
Now Gomez can do that, and he'll play it in towards Elliott. Elliott, left-footed ball in. Better. Gakpo! Oh, he's missed. 7 yards out. And he got the jump on Mavropanos. He heads it across the face of the goalkeeper, but wide of the far post. Really meat and drink for a striker.
Yeah, it should have been, and this is obviously the conversation we're having about Nunez, about Gakpo before the game, in terms of these crucial chances that you expect a number 9 to be scoring, the so-called easier chances. He does well, he gets up, he times the header well, he's doing everything right in terms of getting it back across where it's come from, but he's got to hit the target.
Now we're going to 1 minute of added time at the end of this first half, and Cody Gakpo knows that he should have given Liverpool a 2-0 lead. He's not scored in 5. He got a couple of goals against Lask of Austria in Europe, but hasn't scored in the 5 games since. He has scored in both rounds of this competition, though. Should have made that 3 out of 3. Now here's a rare West Ham attack as we're going to stoppage time. Said Benrahma has the ball, and it's done well to flick it back for Alvarez. Benrahma again. Ben Johnson pushing forward to join the attack. Trying to play it across the edge of the area for Fornals. And it was cleared, and then Mavropanos, right-footed, plays it forward and trying to get West Ham on the front foot again. And it's gone out of play for a throw, which will be taken by Liverpool. And Klopp was very angry for a moment. Just having a word with one of his players. It's Szoboszlai that had incurred his wrath, I don't know. But play will continue with the Liverpool throw. Quansah playing it out towards Elliott. The minute of stoppage time is up, and straight away Tim Robinson puts his whistle to his mouth. And it's a very warm ovation from the Liverpool supporters, delighted with what they've seen. This has been much more comfortable than many would have anticipated. Liverpool making 6 changes, but the fact that West Ham have made 6 as well perhaps has told. They've been much the better side, Liverpool. The deserved lead secured by Dominic Szoboszlai. Cody Gakpo should have made it 2 right at the end of the half. West Ham have to improve. Liverpool 1, West Ham 0.
Boy, that's an understatement. Pathetic from West Ham, that. They've looked like a non-league side in the 3rd round of the FA Cup, away to a Premier League giant, just having a jolly day out, looking forward to the experience and taking selfies. It's been a shambles from West Ham. I mean, they look like they're happy to go out. They look like they want to go out. I'm not saying they do, but that's what they're playing like. Clueless, hopeless, talentless. That's not what West Ham are, but it's how they looked in that first half. They've been absolutely useless. They've not had a shot off target, never mind on target. And I tell you what, they've got away with one, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, because that Gakpo miss at the end of the first half, that could have been tie over there.
Yeah, and I agree with you in terms of, I'm not sure what West Ham are trying to achieve, in a sense that, I think I mentioned it in the game, they're not going really high and being aggressive and pressing, and that's absolutely fine. But if you're going to sit in a low block, there's got to be an engagement line. So at some point, whether it be the edge of the 18-yard box, whether it be halfway, it's normally about halfway within your own half, then the forwards can start to press. But Liverpool are just driving and driving. West Ham, they just keep dropping off. No one's engaging, and that's where the goal from Szoboszlai comes. He keeps touching it, and you're thinking, right, Johnson's going to get out to him now, and he just doesn't. So they've got to be better defensively. If you're going to be in a low block, that's fine, but you've got to be aggressive when you then decide to press.
Mate, I'm with you all the way on that. That goal, it was everything that's wrong with West Ham. First of all, let's say it's a brilliant strike from Szoboszlai. Absolutely right. It's a fantastic strike. But the build-up to it, it's just not acceptable from a West Ham point of view. I'm a Ben Rama fan. They've actually got a 2-on-2. If he controls a simple ball, he can't. It's bobbling around his ankles and shins. Quansah picks it up easy. Simple ball to Szoboszlai. And then you're right. Ben Johnson, who actually is a right back and isn't great at right back, and he's playing on the left. I don't know why Emerson's on the bench. Just stick him on there, David. I mean, it's a simple thing to do. Why you've got a player who's a right back but not good enough for the first team at right back playing at left back, I don't understand it. But this is a simple defensive thing Ben Johnson's got to do. He's got to get out there, put his body on the line, get hurt, put your big unit in front of the ball, and then that ball never gets anywhere near the goal. But he doesn't. He dangles a leg. It's pathetic, really. I mean, those West Ham fans who've travelled all this way and they've seen a player, one of their own, who's getting paid by the club, to dangle a leg and not even try to stop the shot, that's not acceptable.
No, it's not, and it's just the basics of 1v1 defending. I get, yes, he's a right back and he's out on the left, and you can talk about the differences in body shape, but 1v1, he's going to shoot. Just get out to him and put your body on the line. And I think there was, a period of 5 minutes where West Ham looked quite decent without creating anything. They looked, I say decent, probably compared to the rest of the performance, they looked okay.
You're being kind.
They looked like they wanted to go forward and be more expansive, but again, there was just that lack of quality in the final third. So I think there needs to be changes. Bowen's trying, but he's extremely isolated, and defensively, I say those 1v1 battles for me have got to be better. If you can be overawed by the quality of Liverpool, then sometimes you have to put your hands up. But I just think there's a lack of aggressiveness from West Ham that is very much helping Liverpool, and they should be 2-0 up.
Harvey Elliott's been brilliant for Liverpool, I will say that, and he's been creative and clever. He's been direct as well. He's been a joy to watch, but I've got to focus on West Ham. No efforts off or on target compared to Liverpool's 11 shots, 3 on target. They lead 1-0. But it's not a full-strength Liverpool side. So this is every reason why some West Ham fans are still not convinced by David Moyes. He hasn't picked the right team, and the team he has picked hasn't played very well. So it's all on him.
Yeah, and look, I understand that, and the changes are the changes. And if the plan was to stay in the game until 45 minutes, then I can accept that. But again, if you're going to do that, you've got to make sure that you defend really well, which for me that they haven't done. They haven't been aggressive enough. And I agree. In terms of Szoboszlai, I said it before the game, sometimes you almost get either or. You either get great or sort of lower, not so great. I don't see sort of an in-the-middle performance from him, and I thought we were going to get that bottom performance again because there were stray passes from him. You know, he was trying, but in terms of his range of passing, His first touch wasn't great, so that's all of a more reason for me. And it was the same for most of that Liverpool midfield for West Ham to be aggressive. And that game management, I suppose David Moyes, don't get me wrong, yes, he picks the players, but once they walk over that white line, those players, they have to manage the game. They have to realise, and I don't know what David Moyes says, but all the managers I've ever been under have said, look, this is your blueprint, this is your game plan, but you're on the pitch. You can see it more than I can. So if you see something within the game, then you go for it. And there were so many moments, I think, where Liverpool looked a little bit sloppy, the passing wasn't great, and that's for me the moment where West Ham have to be more aggressive. I'm not saying press them on the edge of the box, but in terms of press them really hard in your own half, which they didn't do. And I think what that let happen is Liverpool then gained momentum throughout the game, got better and better and better, where if you stop that momentum at source, it's a lot more difficult for Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool have the lead as it stands. They're heading through to the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, but we wonder what West Ham have got. Well, what they do have is the backing of the fans who've travelled in numbers, and we talked about what the atmosphere will be like, this second biggest crowds here at Anfield in the modern era. Well, the atmosphere has been okay from a Liverpool point of view, but there was the West Ham fans you could hear singing towards the end of that first half as a rendition of Bubbles rang out from the away end, low to our left. And they need more from their players. They need more from their manager as well, and they probably need more from the substitutes bench. We'll see what happens in the second half, live on Talksport, but at half-time it is Liverpool 1, West Ham United 0.
Kick-off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org. Hi all.
Hiya.
How are we doing?
Afternoon.
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 Let's get this meeting
Started.
Hi, Mum.
Where's the tablet gone?
When everyone's home, EE Work Mode prioritizes your broadband for working from home with the UK's fastest major broadband provider. So,
Yeah, I've got you loud and clear as a bell.
this is broadband made for working from home. Search EE Broadband, powered by BT.
Work mode with EE Smart Hub Plus. To verify, see ee.co.uk/claims.
This Christmas, get them something they really want. The new Talksport football trivia game puts your encyclopedic football IQ on the spot with the board game the whole family can play that won't leave anyone bored. And at $19.99, even Scrooges can afford one. The Talksport football trivia game. Available now from Sports Direct, House of Fraser, Game, Amazon, Sainsbury's and all good toy retailers.
A little bit better. And that's why we're always working towards helping you get more out of your energy. So visit eonnext.com today. Discounts available to Eon Next customers ends 31st of December 2023. T's and C's, eligibility criteria and geographical restrictions apply.
Good evening, late-night revellers. This is the last bus home. Calling is still ringing and tired dancing feet via warm fries or a cheeky cheeseburger. Our final destination, as always, is home. Plenty of McDonald's restaurants are open late tonight. See mcdonalds.com for opening times.
That'll be my Amazon delivery.
Magnificent goal!
Beautiful football.
Brilliant finish.
This festive season, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Amazon delivers the Premier League with 10 live matches from Boxing Day. Only on Prime.
Prosecco. A magical Christmas with Lidl means calling it fizz before 12 and bubbly after. Get yours for a sparkling $4.75 down from $5.75. Only when you download the Lidl Plus app. Now that's big on quality and always Lidl on price. T's and C's apply. See lidl.co.uk/CP 18 plus GB only.
What a team! What a team! And to think these lads have never played together and probably never will. That's the beauty of LiveScore Bet Squads. It's free to play and all that counts is putting the ball in the back of the net.
And putting some cash in your pocket.
That too, Steve. LiveScore Bet Squads. Every time they score, you score. Up to £50 in cash. Deposited account required. Players revealed Monday to Friday, max 5 per round. Withdrawable cash amount per goal varies. T's and C's apply. Bet responsibly. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
When the biggest names in the game talk, they talk to Jim White and Simon Jordan.
Good morning, Graham Souness.
Great to be here.
David Moyes.
We're ready to go again.
Tyson Fury, good morning.
Simon Jordan and Jim White, the best talk show on radio.
Players, owners, moguls, managers.
Liverpool legend Jurgen Klopp.
I listen from time to time. I cannot say that I'm a fan of Simon Jordan.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. The egos have landed.
Get up there, Jim White!
continues tomorrow morning from 10 on Talksport. Ultimate Game Radio.
Left-footed ball inside the penalty area. What a goal!
The League Cup live on Talksport.
Where it's Liverpool 1, West Ham 0 at half-time in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. Some of the subs are warming up. We'll see if any changes are made when they come out for the second half very shortly. But let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Well, Liverpool lead 1-0. The Reds to win in normal time are now 15-2 on. West Ham to turn it around to 25-1. The draw in the 90 minutes is 13-2. Cody Gakpo to score anytime was 3-1. That's been price boosted to 7-2. That's the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Well, let's tell you what's going on elsewhere. 1-0 here to Liverpool at half-time. Scottish Premiership, it's Aberdeen 1, Livingston 1. Bottom of the table, Livy took the lead, but the Dons, who lost the League Cup final on Sunday at Hampden against Rangers, equalised with their top scorer, Miofsky. And Rangers themselves lead St Johnstone 1-0. Cyril Dessers, who's finding a bit of form under Philippe Clement, the new manager, has got the only goal so far at Ibrox, but St Johnstone down to 10 men. Rangers win. They go 2 points behind Celtic with a game in hand and an old firm game at Celtic Park coming up on December the 30th. Let me also tell you that tonight in the Women's Champions League, Chelsea 1 apiece away to Häcken of Sweden. Earlier, Ajax beat Georgia Stanway's Bayern Munich by a 1-0, which was something of a surprise. And Harry Kane is playing his last game in the Bundesliga before their winter break, and guess what he's gone and done? He's gone and scored, hasn't he? He's 24th in 20 in Champions League. Sorry, I think it's his 25th in 21, rather, in Champions League and Bundesliga games, and it was a beauty as well. Top corner, 25 yards out. Beauty from Harry Kane. And as I say, he's got 3 weeks off. He's actually spending Christmas with his family. He's going to love that, isn't he? Fantastic for him. And here's some more stats on Harry Kane, who's been amazing this season. Most goals in Europe's top 5 domestic leagues in 2023, the calendar year. Guess who's top? Harry Kane on 38, 6 more than Kylian Mbappe. Erling Haaland's only on 29. Lautaro Martinez of Inter Milan is on 29 as well. Absolutely extraordinary. 21 Bundesliga goals in 15 games in the German top flight. Record-breaking start from England's Harry Kane in the Bundesliga. Amazing. And there's a second half to come away to Wolfsburg. They lead by 2-1. Let's catch up with the PDC World Darts at Ali Pali. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, Richard Veenstra is through into the second round. He's just beaten New Zealand with a Ben Rob by 3-0. Amazing finishing performance. 3 top-plus finishes from him. Every mistake Rob made, then Veenstra was there to pounce. Right now, the young teenage sensation, Luke Littler, is making his way onto the stage. He's taking on Christian Kiss. Littler, the World Youth and Junior Champion, making his debut in the PDC World Darts Championship, which is live right now over on Talksport 2.
Quite noisy there, isn't it? Yeah, that is on Talksport 2. If you want to get Talksport 2, just download the Talksport app for free. You can swipe between the 2 stations, or you can tell your smart speaker to play Talksport 2. But you do need the app because there's loads of live football. Some of the Premier League games over Christmas will only be available to listen to on the Talksport app as well. So download that for free. It's easy to use. You can get it from where you get your apps. Anthony Joshua has declared tonight he's ready for blood and bruises as Talksport brings you the day of reckoning on Saturday. AJ and Deontay Wilder both in action in Saudi Arabia, not against each other. Talksport team will be on the ground in Riyadh, bringing you plenty of exclusive content and a daily podcast as well. Check that out on the app. Heavyweight boxing and the day of reckoning this Saturday, live and free on Talksport. Listen on your radio from 9 p.m. on the Talksport app, or watch the show live on the Talksport YouTube channel. And I've just been talking about Harry Kane and how brilliantly he's doing in the Bundesliga. Bayern Munich go into the winter break. They're not even top. Xabi Alonso, former Liverpool midfielder, is Bayer Leverkusen side 4-0 up tonight, and they will be top of the table going into the winter break. Just wonder and hoping that actually helps Harry Kane as far as England is concerned next summer. So it's Liverpool 1, West Ham 0 tonight. Wait for the Hammers players to come out. Liverpool players are already out. Tomorrow night, we've got Premier League action for you. Crystal Palace take on Brighton in that grudge match. That's live and exclusive and only on Talksport. Hugh Wizardcroft will be your host for that. Friday night, Villa take on Sheffield United. Aston Villa could go top. Again, Hugh's your host for that Friday night from 7 p.m. Our coverage starts. And then Saturday lunchtime, game day is back. West Ham take on Manchester United. 11 a.m. our programme starts with Reshmin Chowdhury. 12:30 kick-off for that one, and another busy Saturday of football. Keeping you in touch with all the action in Scotland, the Women's Champions League this evening on Talksport. But West Ham are out, and they need to start playing football or they're going out of the Cup at the quarter-final stage. Liverpool 1, West Ham 0, second half, live on Talksport with the former Liverpool striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk and your commentator Jim Proudfoot.
Yeah, almost a mismatch in the first half, but that's not the cue for David Moyes to make changes. Still the same 11 that started the game for West Ham and indeed for Liverpool as well. 11 shots without reply in the opening 45 minutes for Liverpool. Only the one of them went in, and it is that slight lack of a prolific instinct in front of goal that might be the biggest concern for Jurgen Klopp so far tonight. We are back underway. The rain has picked up in intensity on the swirling breeze. The rain being picked out by the floodlights on the far side of the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand. Liverpool kicking from left to right as they love to in this second half, attacking the Kop. They're in all red, the Hammers in all white. And the ball played out to the Liverpool left-hand side for Nunez. I think a few West Ham United supporters might make parallels with the game at Tottenham recently, where they were terrible in the first 45 minutes, were only 1-0 down, and came out and were much improved in the second half and won. They need a similar comeback in the second half here. Tsimikas playing it back for Curtis Jones here for Liverpool. Was shot, hits the thigh of Souček and bounces away, goes out of play for the first corner of the second half, which, like all four in the first, goes Liverpool's way. Taken quickly from that left flank by Tsimikas. Works inside the penalty area for Endo. Endo picking his moment and then plays it back outside the box for Tsimikas. The referee has to just take evasive action from a ball that was worked through the midfield for Nunez. Finding himself really deep for a moment. Szoboszlai to Elliott. Now play back towards Joe Gomez. It was a poor ball from Harvey Elliott, one of his few poor balls of the night. Gomez made something of it. Szoboszlai with the ball inside the area, which took a little nick at the near post. That took Areola out of the picture. And Souček had to be alert coming in at the far post to sweep it away and out for a corner.
And that for me comes from Gomez being on the front foot. It's a poor pass to him, but he makes something of it. The little ball as well into Szoboszlai does really well. He's got the pace to stand it up, and it's a really good opportunity for Liverpool.
Well, that's Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, the former Liverpool striker. In comes the corner. And it's headed away by Souček. Commanding header out towards the far touchline. Good control from Tsimikas and a nice flat driven cross. That's half cleared. Back in from Gomez. Johnson on the end of that. And it's off his head now to play for a throw. And a throw taken very quickly by Harvey Elliott. Gets it back from Szoboszlai. Now it's back for the Hungarian again, the goal scorer, the man whose rasping drive on 28 minutes is the difference between these two teams. On the score sheet anyway. Here's Gomez. More action down below us on the near touchline. Paquetá has been sent out to warm up, and it might not be too long before he's brought on. Ward-Prowse is down there warming up as well. Endo turning on the edge of the box, finding Nunez. Endo continues his run. Good turn from Nunez, gets a shot in, and Areola did well. Top left-hand corner, the shot was bound for. He got his hands behind it, tips it into the Kop and out of play for a corner.
Brilliant by Nunez. We've criticised him earlier on before the game about his lack of goals, but this little turn's wonderful. Good hit with his left foot. It's a good save though from Areola.
And the corner swept in by Elliott and headed away. And it goes down towards Szoboszlai again. Szoboszlai controlling it. Right-footed ball knocked inside the penalty area. Sharp chance with his head for Jarrell Quansah. And it's just brushed off him and goes wide. Out of play. Quansah has scored. Netted in Belgium against Union Saint-Gilloise in the Europa League. Only senior goal of his career so far. There's a very sharp chance for him there. 4 minutes into the second half, and the bottom line, Courtney, no discernible change in the pattern of play in the game.
No, there isn't. And if anything, Liverpool have come out with all the urgency. You'd think that Liverpool were the side that were 1-0 down.
Gomez poking it forward. And Johnson is there. And will be able to mop up with the aid of Ben Rama. And then Alvarez was caught in possession, just a little bit too tardy in passing the ball on. It finds Jones, and his shot goes well wide. Areola knew it was going wide, dived inside it. But it's constant stream of Liverpool pressure and attempts.
Yeah, and both Gakpo and Nunez were following in on this just in case it was on target, gets parried away. But what I love about this is the overlapping run by Tsimikas, because it just gives then Jones that extra moment, because the defenders are worried about Tsimikas just to get his shot off. But unfortunately for him, he couldn't find the target.
Well, Anfield hasn't been a happy hunting ground for West Ham. We talked about that earlier. It hasn't for David Moyes either, who's never won here as a manager. It will be his 21st game at Anfield without a victory. If West Ham don't turn this around, there's only one manager in football history has ever visited here more without success, and that was the great Bobby Robson, surprisingly, who didn't win here in 23 attempts as a manager in his career. Here's Pablo Fornals for West Ham. Good reverse ball back. Bowen trying to feather it round the corner for Kudus inside the box. It's half cleared by Endo. He's struggled at times to totally be up with the pace of it, and gave it away for a moment. Tsimikas bailed him out. Goes out for what has been given as a West Ham throw by Nick Greenhow, the assistant referee over on the far touchline. The reaction of the Liverpool players suggests that it might not have been. But Safal hasn't got a prodigiously long throw, but he certainly can cause problems with a direct delivery from the touchline. And this is the first exhibition of it tonight. Steps back against the hoardings. That looked like a foul throw. Dropped the ball over his head into the feet of Fornals. A short one rather than a long one. It was allowed to continue. Fornals knocks it square. Johnson trying to help it on. Falls for Ben Rama on the West Ham United left. He's poked it down the line past Joe Gomez. Johnson can't get past Endo. Did really well, the Japanese. Then Elliott was caught. Alvarez sliding in, trying to win it. It's been a really good-tempered game throughout. And that was just a late one from Alvarez, not malicious, but it's certainly one that will have inflicted pain on Harvey Elliott there.
Yeah, it's certainly late. He's pointing to the ball. He gets nothing of it. It's his studs on the side of Harvey Elliott's ankle. I mean, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Is it the fact the rain's coming down? He's judged it a little bit wrong. He's sliding more quick than he anticipates, but it's a really poor foul and deserves the yellow card for me.
That's Alvarez in the book. It's his 10th yellow card in all competitions this season in 21 games. Liverpool 1, West Ham 0, and the rain and wind getting even stronger. Kwanzaa taking the free kick. Elliott's all right and is straight back on the field because Alvarez picked up a yellow card. He didn't have to go off having received the treatment. Gomez can bring it forward. Over halfway, Ben Rama just had a little pull of his shirt, he couldn't stop him. Soboslai tried a 1-2, that didn't come off. Came straight back to him off a West Ham player. Tries to get it in towards Gakpo, and it's cleared. And it'll be brought down to the back by Virgil van Dijk. You're with Talksport and Sirius XM FC right across North America. Liverpool 1, West Ham United 0. Harvey Elliott bringing it forward here for Liverpool. To his left-hand side for Soboslai. Soboslai just almost showed too much of that to Souček. Souček was eventually able to steer it clear at the second attempt. Johnson bringing it forward. A little drop of the shoulder and gets him away from Joe Gomez. And then he's poked it forward well. And Jared Bowen is inside the penalty area. The angle's tight. He's flashed it across the 6-yard box. Fornals giving chase. Tsimikas slides it away. West Ham have their first corner of the night.
By far their best passage of play. Johnson does well. The ball's weighted excellently, and you see Bowen, he knows that he can't shoot, the angle's too acute, so he's just trying to put it in an area. Fornals trying to get there, but it's a wonderful challenge in the end by Tsimikas.
Liverpool have all 11 back inside their own penalty area, and West Ham have got 6 forward to attack it. 5 in the box. It's going to be Bowen to swing the corner in. They've got 3 more lurking with intent just outside the penalty area. Souček trying to get free, looking for a near post flick. Gakpo heads it away. Decent delivery, but a good defensive header. Safal goes back for Johnson. Johnson's inside the centre circle. Left-footed ball clipped over the top of Joe Gomez for side Ben Rama. Gomez has done well, held the line. Ben Rama's offside.
Yeah, he did check Benrahma, his run bit. He almost checked it and then kept going. It was strange. And Gomez, he was aware. You could see him looking over his back shoulder. Probably got the shout from Kwanzaa as well to let him go. So it's good communication from that Liverpool back line.
Aberdeen have come from behind at Pataudry. 2 goals for Bojan Miovski. 13 and 14 of the season for him. And Aberdeen lead Livingston by 2 goals to 1. Livy are going to stay bottom. And Aberdeen will open the gap between themselves and the 2 beneath them. Kelleher getting it away, right-footed, bounces in West Ham territory. O'Connor comes across and the veteran Italian heads it down, but Elliott seizes upon the loose ball. Left-footed ball in from him hits Johnson. Johnson then volleys it away after the touch from him went high up in the air. Liverpool retain possession but go back towards halfway with Kwanzaa. And Chelsea 2-1 up now away to Häcken in the Champions League. Pegged back late in the first half but have retaken the lead. Cuthbert making it 2-1. Jones, shot from distance from Nunez, hit Gakpo with it. And that repays the favour after 1 from Gakpo in the first half that Nunez blocked. They'll laugh about it later. Endo, they're not in the moment. Endo inside their own half, inside his own half, but not by much. Finds Kwanzaa. We're going to see Paquetá in a moment. 10 minutes into the second half. West Ham needing some inspiration. Potentially buoyed by that one good attack that they've had in the game. Here's another one at the other end though. Liverpool working back. Oh, it's squeezed through. Areola has been completely embarrassed there by Curtis Jones, who takes the applause of the Kop. Great ball towards the byline. And as he was waiting for it to be pulled back, Areola, he's been done at his near post. Jones just flicking it in past him inside the far post. And Liverpool lead by 2 goals to 0.
Brilliant work from Curtis Jones. He just holds his nerve, doesn't he? It's a good ball into him. He makes that deep run. West Ham are struggling to pick up. It's one of his only options, really, because Nunez comes across. Gakpo's nowhere to be seen. There's no one in the middle to pass to. So Jones knows he has a bit of a look up. And he holds his nerve. He looks at the keeper, looks to his right, knows there's no teammate, sees the keeper, gamble, and then just slots it at the near post. It's a real good finish from the youngster.
Through the legs of Areola, who will not want to see that again. And Liverpool lead by 2 goals to 0. Curtis Jones on 56 minutes, his first of the season. West Ham in the immediate aftermath of that made the change. Paquetá, who's involved in the action here with Kwanzaa, on to replace Said Benrahma. And it's helped West Ham win a free kick here. Paquetá, magnificent, one of the best individual performances I've seen this season. At the weekend, as West Ham beat Wolves so comfortably. Now, will he be able to replicate those heights here? And West Ham certainly need some inspiration. Fornals. Down the left-hand side for Johnson. Johnson back for Fornals again. Ford away, Matt inside the penalty area. Oh, good goalkeeping by Kelleher. Came out Superman style and punched it clear. They were coming in on him with real pace and intent there. And he just got it away in time to beat it clear of Jared Bowen, who was winded in the process. Now Liverpool bring it forward. Nunez inside the penalty area. Third goal kills it off. It's back for the edge of the box for Jones. And it's into the Kop.
This is brilliant from Kelleher. I think he's been a bit suspect at times with his passing, but here, in terms of the goalkeeping with his hand, absolutely brilliant. He flies out. I think Bowen potentially sees that as well. I'm not saying he bottles it, but I don't think he wants to get clattered. Kelleher comes flying out, just say Superman style, and he gets length on the punch as well, which is important because he's completely out the game. Does really well and sets Liverpool on the counter-attack.
So Liverpool leading by 2 goals to 0, just over half an hour to go, and they're going to be making a triple change. West Ham bring it forward with Kudus inside the penalty area. Paquetá have made the run. Bowen couldn't get it into his path. Safal beaten to it legitimately by Nunez. Nunez almost lost it, and an attacker from Bowen on the edge of the penalty area. Bowen's fouled him, and it's a free kick to Liverpool, and they'll make the change. So this is how Jurgen Klopp has managed it. He's retaining the pack as well ahead of the match against Arsenal here on Saturday, but who'll give his big hitters half an hour. So we're going to see Konate, Alexander-Arnold and Mo Salah for the final half hour of the game. Courtney?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens here. You'd probably expect maybe Alexander-Arnold coming into that midfield role, that defensive midfield role where Endo will vacate, and I think Jurgen Klopp's got it spot on, hasn't he? It's probably a shame for David Moyes. He was waiting to make that substitution while they're still in the game, but at 2-0 it's a long way back now, whereas now Jurgen Klopp's got the cushion. He's got the luxury to rest a few, to get some minutes into the legs of the big hitters, and really has played it perfectly so far.
So Salah's on for Szoboszlai. Elliott will play a little bit deeper as a result of that, and Salah will be in his customary position, high and wide on the right. Konate on for Van Dijk, and Endo comes off to be replaced by Trent Alexander-Arnold, who, as you predicted, will come on into the midfield. So a triple change for Liverpool, and it's made with half an hour to go. They lead by 2-0. Szoboszlai and Jones on 28 minutes into the game, and then another 28 minutes later. Konate, high right-footed ball forward from him. Kwanzaa playing on the left of the two centre-halves now that Konate is on for Van Dijk. Johnson down by his own corner flag, put under pressure here by Mo Salah. He's been able to play it away. He's trying to buy a throw, didn't get a touch of a Liverpool player, and it's gone out. Mo Salah has only scored one League Cup goal in his career, which came at Manchester City last season. He hasn't played a whole host of League Cup ties, in fairness. It is 1 in 7 in this competition. He did win it in 2022. Tsimikas. Now goes back for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold rolling it into the feet of Harvey Elliott, just coming away from the D to receive the ball. Konate goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. Kelleher retracing his steps a little. Fires it away from Paquetá, able to play it forward through the midfield for Kwanzaa. It's a good strong run by Jarrell Kwanzaa, then helped on by Gakpo, out towards Mo Salah. Salah's ball through, Elliott straight at the goalkeeper. He didn't get hold of the shot, and Areola was able to kick it away with his right foot for a corner.
Front to back though, how quickly did Liverpool do that is fantastic from Kwanzaa. Enjoyed watching him tonight. He releases the ball at the right time. Salah does well with this ball as well from the deep run for Elliott, but you're right, he just doesn't catch it as well as he wants to.
It's a corner which will be taken on the Liverpool right-hand side by Alexander-Arnold. 17 minutes into the second half. Salah standing in front of the goalkeeper. Others in red making runs from deeper. The whistle's gone before the ball is fired in. It's going to be a retake, and Tim Robertson just wants a word with Konate. He's keeping an eye on what's going on there with the jockeying for position. Alexander-Arnold just removes some grass or some mud from the studs on the bottom of his right boot. Now raises his left arm above his head, in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Kudus heads Johnson heads the corner away. Tsimikas will try and help it on. Safal gets it clear, not very far though. Back for Darwin Núñez. Núñez on the edge of the penalty area. Konate letting it run across him. Alexander-Arnold urged to shoot, obliges. It wasn't a great shot, it was almost a brilliant pass. Mavropanos was able to just somehow do enough to deceive Núñez. The ball beat the pair of them and goes out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, and it's a shame because Núñez, he's been fantastic out of possession, and he's the one that wins that ball back initially. You just see there's the slightest of touches, it nutmegs him at the end, and you can't believe it.
63 gone, Liverpool 2, West Ham United 0. Konate heading the ball away through the centre circle. Brought down again by Johnson. I mentioned earlier, Mo Salah's got this outstanding goal-scoring record against West Ham United. 13 matches against them, 10 goals. Only one in his last 5, which was here this season. Got a great record at home, Salah. In his last 21 matches at Anfield, he has scored in 17 of them. That's 20 goals in his last 21 games here. Away from home, surprisingly poor, of which more in a moment, as Liverpool bring it forward here with Tsimikas. Tsimikas controlling the ball, then checks back, finds Darwin Núñez. Núñez is 5 yards outside the penalty area. Lays it back. Jones gives it back to him. He's on the left-hand side of the box now. Nunez trying to find a way through. It's off Safal. Goes out for a corner, which is Liverpool's 10th of the game. Yes, Salah away from home has only scored in 5 of his last 27 away games. He has got 7 goals in those games, but it's only scored in 5 of the last 27, 22 blanks. That's in all competitions, but surprisingly that. Tsimikas playing the corner in, and it bounces easily for Fornals, who's then got the time on the edge of his own penalty area to hook it away. Helped back in by Gomez. The offside flag is up against Nunez, and it's a free kick to West Ham. They've got 25 minutes here, Courtney Sweetman, Kurt, to get themselves back into this. How do they go about it?
It's a big ask, but they've got to get higher up the pitch, I think, now. Look, they know they're going to have to take chances. They've got to be more aggressive. You think, look, Konate and that centre-half has just come on the pitch. Can you try and disrupt him? The same with Alexander-Arnold. If you can get at them, potentially bring Ward-Prowse on, try and get some set pieces. That would be a fantastic way to get back into the game.
Well, we saw drama late on in 2 of the 3 games last night. Everton training with 8 minutes to go. They came back, got it to penalties. Ball over the top here. Salah's offside. The flag late in coming up. There is no VAR, remember, for this game, but the decision was the correct one. And Johnson trying to play his way out of the back's giving it away. Alexander-Arnold's the beneficiary. Salah made a run to create space for Gakpo. Gakpo stood and watched and admired Salah's handiwork, and the ball just rolled innocuously over the touchline and out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, and that's where it's not quite clicked, has it, in that forward line, whether it be, Salah, Gakpo, Nunez, whoever is in there. They're just not a cohesive unit as yet. It's almost a group of individuals rather than working off instinct and knowing where each other are going to run and what the purpose of the run is.
Well, West Ham United supporters, I'm sure you'll want your say tonight on the sports bar. 03717223344. If it ends this way, what do you think of the team that David Moyes picked? Did he get it right? Was he right to seemingly prioritise the game against Manchester United? Live on Talksport at the weekend. You'll hear that Saturday at 12:30. I'm sure that the big hitters will be back for that, but was the decision the right one tonight? You can have your say with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy taking your calls, and they'll also have the draw for the semi-finals of this competition, which, as things stand right now, will be Chelsea, Fulham, Middlesbrough and Liverpool. Konate playing it back for Kelleher. One back for West Ham, makes the fist of it. Ogbonna heading it forward. Fornals waiting for it to get towards him. Konate came out, and Fornals wasn't happy. He felt that the defensive work there from Konate was far too strong in and around the head. And then Liverpool win a free kick on halfway as it was played forward and Cody Gakpo was fouled. It's a free kick that will be taken by Alexander-Arnold. They're still in complete control midway through the second half. Paquetá's been on for 10 minutes and we haven't seen anything from him yet.
No, not overly, but I think that's more a product of West Ham in general. They're struggling to win the ball back off Liverpool. When they do, they're almost bypassing Paquetá, trying to get the ball forward far too quickly. There needs to be a spell of sustained possession, but they're not doing well enough defensively to try and win the ball back off Liverpool to start with.
Liverpool are going to make another change. Connor Bradley is going to come on for his 8th senior appearance, 3 of those this season, and he'll replace Tsimikas. Bradley, a right back by trade, so it'll be interesting to see whether Liverpool switch things around, whether they move Joe Gomez over to left back, as I suspect they might, so Bradley can come on at right back. Bradley, who started in Europe last week, started the League Cup quarter-final against Leicester a couple of years ago, and so he's got experience deep in this competition, and he'll replace Tsimikas here with a little over 20 minutes to go. Erin Cuthbert's got her 2nd and Chelsea's 3rd. Häcken 1, Chelsea 3, the latest score in the Women's Champions League, and that game that's taking place in Gothenburg. And that means that Chelsea will be top of the group. Paris against Real Madrid, the other game in that group tonight, is 0-0 at the moment. So Chelsea 8, Häcken 7, Paris 4, Real Madrid 2. That's how that group looks right now, with 20 minutes to go in that game as well as an 8 o'clock kickoff. The games in Scotland reaching their conclusion there. Both in the last 15 minutes or so. Aberdeen 2, Livingston 1, Rangers 1, 10-man St Johnstone 0. This one 2-0 to Liverpool. Kelleher way outside his penalty area, but able to find Alexander-Arnold. And now the ball played in towards Alexander-Arnold again. Right-footed, angled out towards the far side where Bradley's made a really good advance run, and he's played it in for Salah, and Salah has put it halfway back the Kop from a tight angle, but great play, Conor Bradley.
Yeah, it's brilliant from him, and when the ball came over, that's what I wanted him to do. Can you play that first time? Have you got the quality? Yes, he has. It's a good run from Mo Salah, and then you're just expecting him either, it's almost like a cross-come shot, just hit the area with your right foot, try and hit the target. You've got Nunez and Gakpo on rushing as well to pick up the pieces, but he just gets it completely wrong.
It was almost as though it just bounced sort of 6 inches too far ahead of him, and then he was stretching to try and get the shot in, and didn't get it right at all. We're going to see Ward-Prowse and Kehrer for West Ham in a moment as Johnson brings the ball forward. He might be one of the players replaced potentially. Alexander-Arnold clearing. Headed down by Ogbonna. Salah picks it up, pokes it forward, but too far ahead of Gakpo, and Mavropanos mops up and plays it back for his goalkeeper. Areola clearing it out towards the far touchline. Bowen trying to make a fist of it, but it's gone over him, put out of play for a throw. Taken quickly and intelligently by Bowen. Kudus from distance over the bar.
Can't blame him, to be honest. Better from West Ham in terms of the urgency, playing the throw quickly, finds himself in a good area, Kudus, and obviously full of confidence from the couple of goals he's already scored recently, but Kelleher just watches it go over.
Tomorrow morning, Talksport breakfast with Natalie Sawyer and Dean Saunders. Of course, we'll know the draw for the last four of this competition by then, and Middlesbrough captain Johnny Howson will know who his side are going to be playing. We'll get Johnny's reaction with Nat and Dean tomorrow morning on Talksport breakfast. Liverpool bringing it forward. They look set for a place in the draw as well. I think it's just been sealed. Cody Gakpo from the edge of the penalty area, given plenty of time and space, and able to unleash a right-footed shot past the diving Areola into the bottom left-hand corner. This really has been a night to forget for West Ham United. 3-0 down, and that, in fairness, is a mark of Liverpool's superiority.
It is, but it's also a mark of the poor defending of West Ham. Again, Konate, he keeps driving and driving. Yes, there's a point where someone does engage him, he gets slightly lucky, but then again, he keeps going. He finds himself about 30 yards out. The pass out to Gakpo, it's too easy for him to cut inside and get the shot off. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to take away from Gakpo, because he does well, he deserves that goal. He finds the target, but again, it's a lack of aggressiveness in the press from West Ham.
Well, Kudus has come off for West Ham after the goal. Ward-Prowse has come on to replace him. Safal has also come off, and he's been replaced by Thilo Kehrer. Well, the Hammers beaten in the quarter-final stage a couple of years ago. They lost to Spurs that night. They were beaten on penalties by Blackburn last season, but this has just been just a strange performance from them tonight. Very flat, and it's that inconsistency, I think, that worries the West Ham fans. You look at the last away game they had, they were beaten 5-0 at Fulham. Really, really poor that day. It was the biggest defeat that David Moyes had suffered as a manager for 17 years. 542 games since he'd last managed a side that lost the game by 5. And then the next away performance is this one. They're 3-0 down with 18 minutes to go. And again, they have been really poor. Potentially extenuating circumstances with the team that has been picked, but that's the choice that the manager has made. But he would feel when he picked this team that he would get an infinitely better performance than that they've mustered. Ward-Prowse taking the free kick straight into the hands of Kelleher. I think the whistle had gone anyway because of the bumping and barging, and play's going to restart with the free kick that Liverpool will take. 17 minutes to go on Talksport and across North America on Sirius XM FC. It's Liverpool 3, West Ham United 0.
The thing for me though, Jim, is yes, David Moyes, he picks the team and we can speak about that. But for me, it's individual errors. Ben Johnson for the first goal doesn't get out to Szoboszlai quick enough. The fact that Konate runs almost from the edge of his own box without being challenged, and then no one gets out to Gakpo again. The Jones goal, I think Areola has to do better. There's no Liverpool player in the box, so why does he gamble and leave his near post? So as much as there is so many issues with potentially David Moyes in the squad that he's picking, I think that those goals, we're picking out individual errors, and that's the players just winning their 1v1 battles.
Well, Liverpool had 34 shots here against Manchester United at the weekend and didn't score. They've had 22 tonight and have scored 3. West Ham have had 1, which was the Kudus effort that went over the bar. Liverpool on the front foot again. West Ham know that their fate is sealed. It could get worse. Liverpool bring it forward once more. Salah feeding Bradley. Bradley with a low ball in, and Johnson blocks that, puts it out of play for a corner which will be taken in front of the Kop. It's the 7th corner of this second half alone.
I think Liverpool have been very good in wide areas tonight, especially with the overlapping fullbacks, getting in good positions and getting crosses in the box.
Elliott coming across to take this corner. Spots it down on the quadrant. Bradley waiting, unmarked on the edge of the box. Konate in the far post area. Salah coming away from the edge of the 6-yard box. The ball is delivered past him. Comes off the head of Nunez. Hammers can clear it emphatically. Out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Liverpool left with 15 minutes to go. It's going to be one of the best comebacks in their League Cup history, West Ham, if they can pull it round from here. Just can't see it happening. Liverpool's home record bears repeating this season in all competitions here at Anfield. Played 12, won 11, plus the 0-0 draw that they had here against Manchester United at the weekend. They've scored 35 before tonight and only conceded 7. The prospect of West Ham, the way that they're playing tonight, getting 3 back in the final 15 minutes is just utterly inconceivable, really.
They've just not shown enough adventure going forward to, thinking that they're even going to score 1 goal, let alone 3 to get themselves the penalties, or 4 to win it.
Kwanzaa out towards Harvey Elliott. Elliott controlling it neatly, bringing it into his strides on the corner of the penalty area. Just trying to dink a little left-footed ball in, hoping that Bradley was going to be able to make the run. It's cleared. Then a high right-footed ball back forward from Konate. Goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the West Ham left. I'm sure the Hammers fans will be a different side that take on Manchester United at Saturday lunchtime. But they'll expect a different kind of performance as well at home in a game that's got such a rich heritage. Here's Bowen, and there's one back. He scored yet another goal away from home, and he's second at Anfield this season. Maybe, just maybe, the comeback is on. Beautifully struck. It was played into Bowen, left-hand side of the area, got it onto his right foot and chopped it past the defender before firing it into the top right-hand corner for his 12th goal of the season.
As well, doesn't he, Bowen? And found himself in a similar position earlier on in the game. He tried to cross it for a teammate. This time cuts inside on his weaker right foot, but you'd never know the way he just arrows it. It's curling, but it's got so much power on it into that right-hand corner.
First shot on target West Ham have had. Liverpool make another change. Cody Gakpo off, and he's replaced by Luis Diaz. So that's their final change. Diaz for Gakpo, and it's 3-1. Jarrod Bowen with that goal. Kwanzaa for Liverpool, play forward towards Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool just turning neatly. Joe Gomez now out at left back, able to drive forward, and still he goes, and he's shot, which is saved by Areola. And the 213 game wait continues, but that was a really good, impressive, barnstorming run from Gomez. Forward from left back, just didn't quite have the end product.
Yeah, he was. I don't mind it though. It's full of purpose. The turn actually on the halfway line outside of the foot is wonderful, and then he just keeps going and going again. That's the 1v1 battles that I'm talking about for West Ham. No one really lays a glove on Gomez to make it difficult for him.
Rangers are going to be 2 points adrift of Celtic with a game in hand at the end of the night as West Ham are caught offside. James Tavernier has just scored from the penalty spot with 7 minutes to go. It's 15th of the season. Rangers' unbeaten streak will extend to 16th, their 11th win in 13, and the pressure really being applied on Celtic. 2 up against 10 man St Johnstone. Aberdeen still leading Livingston in the other game tonight at Pittodrie. That's in stoppage time now, and it's a 2-1 lead. West Ham have got it back. 11 to go. Now Ward-Prowse to Souček. Ward-Prowse getting it back again. Fornals to his left-hand side. Danny Ings is going to be coming on against his old club in a moment here. Ball is back for Johnson. Right-footed ball inside the penalty area. Paquetá just stood and watched it sail over his shoulder and his head and go out of play for a goal kick that Kelleher will take. Ings still getting his final instructions, so he's not going to come on just now. Or is he? Kelleher doing everything he can to delay the restart. Fourth official Anthony Taylor in his black hat to protect him against the warm. He's got the numbers 4 in his hand, but the change won't be made just yet. Liverpool take the goal kick. Kanate plays it forward. So a 10 to go. Ogbonna heading it down for Souček. Souček back inside his own half for Mavropanos. Left-footed ball clipped in by him over Fornals. And Stuart Pearce last night, the Chelsea-Newcastle game, was bemoaning the fact that Chelsea just lacked that little bit of finesse and guile. The passes weren't accurate enough. And exactly the same criticism could be levelled of his old club here. Just the simple passes have been going wrong, inexplicably wrong at times.
Yeah, I totally agree, but the couple of simple passes that West Ham have got right, specifically Johnson to Bowen, have actually bore fruit. So it's just about that quality and the composure on the ball.
Nunez, tipped onto the post, and Salah has tapped the rebound wide of an open goal. Should be 4-1. Brilliant from Nunez, and a great save from Areola. Diving to his left, got fingers to it to tip it onto the inside of the post. And then as it came back out, Salah inexplicably didn't score. Yeah. West Ham will make their final change. Sorry, Courtney, it's Ings for Alvarez.
Yeah, I'm looking back at the replay. I wanted to give Mo Salah the benefit of the doubt and say, did it come at him too quickly here? But I don't think it does. Nunez does ever so well. And I think Salah has almost thought he's put the ball in the back of the net before he did. I think he takes his eye off it.
Well, he had time to take a touch. Well, he was only 7 yards out, but he had more time than he wanted. Well, if it was 0-0 and he'd done that, he would have had a sleepless night. As it is, I'm sure it will be out of his system very quickly. No, but he knows that it should have been his 201st goal, the beginning of his third century of goals for Liverpool. I said it was West Ham's last change, bringing Danny Ings on. It's not, it's their penultimate change. Ings, the former Liverpool striker, his career here was wrecked by injury. He only played 25 games for Liverpool after his move from Burnley. 4 goals in that time. And he's come on tonight without a goal in his last 26 games in all competitions. They'd love one here. West Ham pushing forward, lose out. Liverpool spring them forward. Salah! There's his goal. That is number 201. That is a place in the last 4, sealed with goal number 4.
No mistake that time from Mo Salah. And as soon as that ball drops to him, you just know he's not going to miss. There's still a lot to do when he picks him up, starts his run inside his own half. He's got a lot of time to think about this. But cool, calm and collected Mo Salah has a little bit of a look at Areola, just waits to see where he's moving and then just puts it across him. It's a passing to the net. West Ham, by the way, at 6s and 7s, it's awful defending. They've got themselves back into the game. They've given themselves a lifeline, but then it's disappeared just like that. But it's wonderful from Salah.
Well, they pushed forward, West Ham. They committed bodies inside the Liverpool half, but as soon as possession was turned over, there were just giant swathes of verdant green through the middle of the midfield for Liverpool to try and hit. So much margin for error on the pass to Salah. Well, they got it through to him, and moments after he'd missed the gilt-edged chance, he scored a harder one. It's 4-1 to Liverpool with 7 minutes to go. Hammers have possession. They've taken a throw quickly. Paquetá trying to get it forward. Ings just straight into an offside position for a moment. Paquetá rolls the studs of his left boot over the top of the ball and then chips it on, but too much on that. That's drifted past Kehrer and goes out of play for a goal kick that Kelleher will take.
Going back to Salah, I think that's the mark of all good forwards, all good goal scorers. Adrian said it before the game. As a forward, you're always going to miss chances, but it's about how you react to that. It's a big chance that Salah missed. You wouldn't expect it, but then the fact that he forgets about that, that's not in his mind. Slots the ball in the back of the net, and 201. That's not a bad record, is it?
Nope, not bad. Not bad. I think they'll talk about it for a few years yet. 201 in 329. Here come Liverpool again, looking for goal number 5. There it is. It's just too easy. Curtis Jones again. Another ball. Side through the Hammers defence. Jones running onto it. Plenty of time. Clips it in. And for the second successive away game, West Ham have been hit for 5. Liverpool meaning business, eyeing League Cup number 10, and you wouldn't bet against them.
Well, great close control, isn't it, from Curtis Jones? Little drop of the shoulder, there's a jink. When he's expected to shoot, he just takes that extra touch, and it takes Areola out. But again, I can almost forgive the Salah goal, because West Ham, they're trying to get forward, they've got that goal, so they're thinking, right, we might be able to get back into it here. But again, awful defending by West Ham. Curtis Jones can run so far without anyone putting in a half-decent challenge.
2 goals in this second half for Curtis Jones. And we mentioned in the first half that West Ham have got this statistical record where they're much better in the first half of games than they are in the second, by and large. It's happened again tonight. 1-0 to Liverpool in the first half, 4-1 to Liverpool in this second half. And they leave 5-1 over the whole piece, and the West Ham end away to our left-hand side is already emptying out. Ball goes out of play for a throw. David Moyes just almost in a damage limitation exercise, gone out of play for a West Ham throw, but he, instead of kicking the ball towards the touchline, he bounced off his right foot and goes behind him and into his coaching staff. I saw David Moyes play. I'm old enough. His touch was much better than that when he wanted it to be. This has just been a horrible, horrible night for him and for the Hammers. They've got to regroup quickly ahead of the game against Manchester United at the weekend.
Yeah, and I suppose it can go both ways in terms of trying to change it around. You're looking at that Manchester United game and eyeing that up, but actually what a game like this and losing in a certain way can do for your confidence. It can knock it so badly, and now going into that Manchester United game, you're asking yourselves, are West Ham better off for making those changes?
Are you implying that the answer to that is no?
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't like it, don't get me wrong, but equally, like I said, a lot of these players on the pitch as well, they've got to take a bit of responsibility for not winning their 1v1 battles.
So Liverpool bringing it forward again. Remember, the game at Fulham 10 days ago was the first time since 2009, I think it was, that David Moyes had lost a game by 5 goals. There is a danger with 3 minutes left in this that it could happen twice in 10 days. Actually happened, it happened last, back in his Everton days. They got beaten heavily, I think it was 6-1 at Goodison by Arsenal, right very early on in the season, and then lost a European tie in the autumn, sort of October, November. So it had happened twice in relatively quick succession back then as well. As I mentioned, 542 games then without a 5-goal defeat as a manager over his various clubs. But he is a man that has seen it all, well over 1,000 games in his managerial career. This will really, really hurt him. Here's Elliott from distance, that's wide. But Liverpool still hungry for more as the shot count approaches 30.
I'm thinking forward to Manchester United, and you just think if Manchester United get a couple of goals in quick succession, that mindset as a player, you're thinking, oh, here we go again, it's going to be a third, it's going to be a fourth, and you can't think like that, but it's human nature, and when that happens, it's awful. These players now on the pitch want the ground to swallow them up. They just want the referee to blow the whistle, but they've got to find a way to be more pragmatic at times.
I think the more cynical Man United fans would want me to point out they haven't scored a goal for 311 minutes at the moment, which is one of their longest barren streaks. Actually, could, by the end of that game, depending on what happens, could be their longest barren streak since the 1980s without a goal. But I completely understand your point. Liverpool will bring it forward. West Ham had a free kick, really poorly worked, and it very quickly becomes a Liverpool counter-attack. Nunez is offside though, and it's a free kick that West Ham will take inside their box. It's one of those nights with the weather and the inclement conditions meteorologically. You shouldn't have tried that. And also, the way that the game is going, West Ham are desperate for no stoppage time whatsoever here. Just get it done, get on the plane, get home. A minute to go. Liverpool 5, West Ham 1. Liverpool have been excellent. Stack of changes for them as well, remember, but the shadow members of Jurgen Klopp's squad, the ones that aren't trusted week in, week out, or aren't given the opportunity week in, week out, should I say, have by and large excelled. And Darwin Núñez is actually going to get a yellow card here. Again, no malice in it as he climbed up with Thilo Kehrer, but he caught him nastily, and Núñez is in the book.
Sums up his night, really. I think out of possession, been absolutely excellent, but in possession, and his offsides have been poor. He's hit the post, he's tried so hard, but in terms of that goal scoring, it's not quite come off for him again.
Yeah, that would be the one thing that Jurgen Klopp would have wanted to see tonight that he hasn't seen is a goal for Darwin Núñez to end the drought, which is going to be at 11 in a couple of minutes' time unless he can score. Ball's gone out of play for a West Ham corner, which is their second, and there'll be 4 minutes of added time as prescribed by the officials. We're in them now. We'll start with this West Ham United corner. Liverpool leading 5-1, and the corner will be taken by Ward-Prowse. Plenty of whip on it as always, not quite the accuracy that can normally be relied upon. Bradley whacks it forward, and Salah, if the bounce is kind, is going to be able to keep this in. Well, the bounce was kind, but he didn't keep it in. Just rolled away from his right foot, and the chance of the counter-attack is very quickly gone. Your say on the Sports Bar, Liverpool fans, what do you make of it? How delighted were you? What were the most pleasing aspects of tonight's performance? Jason Cundy, Jamie O'Hara taking calls on 03 717 22 334. And of course, West Ham United supporters, dissect it for us. What do you make of it? What went wrong? What are the ramifications? Darwin Núñez has got it in the second minute of stoppage time, left-hand side of the penalty area. Back he goes for Diaz. West Ham try and bring it away. Liverpool have it back with Alexander-Arnold, who will play it to his left-hand side for Curtis Jones. He's on a hat-trick, played in to the edge of the penalty area. Diaz now has it, back from him to the edge of the centre circle. Konate. Liverpool just indulging in an exercise of keep ball late in this game. 67-33 the possession tonight. 28 shots to 2. 5-1 the scoreline. Salah, right-hand side of the box, cutting in onto his left foot, wins the corner off the tiring Ben Johnson.
But these West Ham players are just looking up at the clock thinking, how long have we got to endure this? Because it's just been terrible really from start to finish.
Well, much will be made, whatever the extenuating circumstances of the team selection. That's not being wise with the benefit of hindsight. It's just a statement of fact that West Ham United supporters will not be pleased. And Alexander-Arnold plays the corner in. It is going to be the subject of debate, and of course West Ham United beat Manchester United at the weekend, then that will put a different slant on what has happened tonight potentially, but it's certainly going to be something that will be talked about at length. Bradley playing it inside the penalty area here for Elliott, and put out of play by Souček for another corner, which will be taken on the Liverpool right. Alexander-Arnold will saunter forward to take it. Alexander-Arnold working it short. Liverpool 5-1 up. Elliott back to him again. 2 minutes of stoppage time to go. 1 minute of stoppage time to go, I beg your pardon. Here's Elliott. Elliott towards the edge of the box for Salah. Salah left-footed, just trying to float it in and past everybody. Out of play. Out of play for a goal kick that Areola will take, and I'm sure that will now signal the end of the scoring. Liverpool 5, West Ham United 1. This really feels a lame exit as far as the Hammers are concerned, that they've gone down without a fight tonight, taking nothing away whatsoever from Liverpool. It has been the proverbial 5-star, 5-goal display from there. West Ham have it again. Play back by Bowen towards halfway, and then deeper still, Areola just stumbling as he fires it forward over halfway. Bowen then beaten to it in the air by Kwanzaa, who's been very solid at the back. A play forward through the West Ham midfield by Ward-Prowse. They'll try and get Ings in, but Kelleher's able to come out and claim. Now the 4 minutes are up, and so are West Ham United's League Cup hopes. Brilliant from Liverpool. You can only beat the side that is there ahead of you. They made West Ham look very ordinary from the very first whistle. Szoboszlai giving a tangible reward to Liverpool's early dominance around the half-hour mark, and in the second half they ran away with it. 2 from Curtis Jones, 1 from Gakpo. Salah, moments after missing an open goal, scored as well. Liverpool beating West Ham by 5-1. They're through to the semi-finals. They're overwhelming favourites to lift this trophy. Favourites in Europe. Right in the thick of the league battle. And 2024 could be a magnificent year for the men in red. This, a walk in the park. Christmas has come early for the Reds on the Kop. They've beaten West Ham 5-1.
Well, some of those West Ham players are going over to the Hammers fans. They're not getting too close to them, but to be fair to the Hammers fans, they're applauding back. I'm not quite sure what they're applauding, because it was woeful West Ham tonight, hammered by Liverpool. The Reds have made a statement, no doubt about that, but listen, they're not happy with the record 9 League Cup wins. They want 10. They want to hit double figures, but wow, West Ham United. I mean, you can lose at places like Anfield, of course you can, but it's the manner of the defeat, and those West Ham fans who are applauding, fair play to them. I don't think those players deserve that applause. I mean, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, I didn't realise West Ham would be this bad, and David Moyes made changes, but I didn't know they will be this bad here tonight.
You're right, Adrian. There's ways to lose games, and we can talk about the changes until the cows come home, and I understand that, and there'll be an argument that these changes mean that these players might not have played together at certain situations, and that might lead into different things. But for me, a lot of these goals come from 1v1 battles, and I don't want to take away from Liverpool, because especially on the counter-attack, they're electric. And David Moyes always has a responsibility as the manager. But what he can do tomorrow is he will be able to pull out numerous clips of his players not winning their 1v1 battles or not doing enough. And for me, I know the manager is the figurehead and takes the responsibility, but I think a lot of those players on the pitch tonight have got to take a long hard look at themselves.
Yeah, sometimes Thomas Souček was just strolling around. I mean, it was like he didn't want to defend, and I picked him out. There could be others as well. Ben Rama in the first half of the first goal didn't control a simple football. Ben Johnson didn't want to, block Szoboszlai's shot. I mean, I say the West Ham fans were applauding their players, but I'd say 2/3 of the West Ham fans had already left before the time the full-time whistle went. But, I mean, when we look at David Moyes, this is why, whether rightly or wrongly, that's to be debated. This is why some West Ham fans don't want him as manager of West Ham, because I think he shrinks when it comes to big clubs. He comes here, always loses at Anfield, never wins at Anfield. He's picked a weakened side, and they've gone down without a fight. Now, you can blame the players for not showing enough fight. I get your point there. You have to look at David Moyes with the team selection. And to me, it's a bit of a so what if they go and beat Manchester United at the weekend. Yeah, it'll be 3 Premier League points. Are they going to finish top 4? No. Are they going to win the title? No. Might get back into Europe again? Possibly. But those West Ham fans, they're realistic about it. They think, look who's left in this competition. Chelsea, they're below West Ham in the league table. Middlesbrough, mid-table in the Championship. Fulham, bottom half of the Premier League. West Ham fans are coming here thinking, we've got a great chance in this competition, and then they see the team selection. That is on David Moyes.
It is, and what I will say is I agree with you. There is a psychology as well. So that team, that 11 or the ones on the bench will look at that maybe and think, why are we not going for it? Why am I not involved? Because if you know, don't get me wrong, you always have to work for your place, but you know invariably if you're a starting player in the Premier League. So if you're sitting on that bench tonight, you're thinking, why are we not going for it? Some of the players on the pitch are thinking, why are we not going for this? So that all does work into the psychology. So look, there's definitely pros and cons on both sides, and I think, as we all said at the start, we were disappointed with the team selection and felt that West Ham weren't going for it. Obviously, David Moyes felt that this team was enough to win the game. It wasn't. And as you say, even if they go and do beat Manchester United, I don't know if that's enough of a of a big statement to negate the fact that they have been beaten badly and they put in such a poor performance. And I do think that this will hurt this performance for David Moyes, for the players, because of the manner of it. And there's always a way to lose football games, and this wasn't the way for West Ham.
Yeah, I mean, you hear ex-pros say on Talksport, be careful what you wish for, or David Moyes won a trophy, why do some fans want him out? I mean, this game tonight has provided the very reason why some of those Hammers who travelled up here in numbers don't want Moyes to stay. And you could argue with them, but they've got a point. With Chelsea, Fulham, Middlesbrough left in the Cup, with Liverpool bound to field a weakened side tonight because they've got Arsenal coming up on Saturday, this was a golden opportunity for West Ham United to get to a semi-final. Go for it here tonight. Moyes left Paqueta, Ward-Prowse, Zuma, Emerson on the bench. West Ham were dreadful tonight. They couldn't control the football, pass the football. They barely got out of their own half in the first half. Couple of positive moments for them. Jared Bowen's goal was good. And I think the West Ham fans largely outsung Liverpool fans for a lot of the evening here at Anfield. Biggest highlight was when they sang to Darwin Nunez, "You're just a bad Andy Carroll," or words to that effect. I don't think I can say that even at this time of night. Listen, we've seen Mo Salah miss an open goal tonight. Let that sink in. Realise it's a collector's item. You can tell your grandchildren about it. 2 minutes later, he scored Liverpool's fourth. Curtis Jones strolled through almost the entire West Ham team. Hammers players gave up the chase. Some of them seemingly cowered out of the way of him. Some of them waved him through, and he just slotted home the fifth with ease. He was really good. Harvey Elliott was really good. How close are these two, Jones and Elliott, to Gareth Southgate's thinking, do you reckon?
I'm not sure, and it's the same with Bowen. I think, rightly or wrongly, whatever you think about Gareth Southgate, he has a thought process and likes to go with sort of what he knows. I think if you're in form, regardless of whether you've been involved before or not, if you're in form in the Premier League, like for example Jared Bowen, who is the top English scorer, you have to go. I know it's again horses for courses, and in terms of the way that they fit into that 11, I do understand that, but I think Bowen's got to be in with a shout. I think Jones and Harvey Elliott, they need to play more consistently, but if they're consistently playing at that level of performance, what I've seen tonight, then again they definitely need to be in with a good shout.